Oh.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Deep Dives.
Good morning.
Good morning. Vietnam. Remember that movie?
Oh, yes.
Well, I was going to say that,
Oh,
and you
sorry.
took it from me.
My bad. So, so anyway, we have the interview today with Dr. Sharnael, but she got held up. That's one busy woman, but we did want to just get on and get started, on time, and get going. So anyway, Emma, how has everything been going?
Good. It's a beautiful day out, even though it's rainy. And I don't know. I woke up feeling really refreshed today. I don't know how you guys felt, but the energy feels lighter today. I can't explain it, but
You know what?
maybe it has to do with the full moon, because I know it's a full moon in Leo, I think it is. So it's going to be like a lot of
as long as it's in Leo.
Oh, but I feel like, I know they said it's going to be like a lot of like passion, and it's a fire sign, but I don't know. I just feel like, well, it makes sense that it's the year of the snake too, and I just feel like I kind of like shed some stuff and transforming and moving into like a new, it's just a new shift. So
well, what I did this morning is it is raining out, and I usually go shoot around the baskets every morning, and I decided to do it in the rain, and I have fake knees.
Oh.
I slipped and I hurt my knee.
Congratulations.
This morning, but I did have fun shooting around. I like doing activities like that. So right now, guys, and you probably see me limping around. That hurt my knee.
Yeah, it was.
That's a good way to start the day.
Yeah, I have fun though.
It's good that he's active like that, though. So anyway, we wanted to also mention that our his phone is ringing. So I don't know. We wanted to mention that my website is up, and so we're going to show that really quick. So if you want to book a session, we could do a one-on-one 30-minute session or one-on-one 1 hour session. We can also do a meditation consultation if you feel like you need help with something that has to do, with some blocks or something that you're having with your meditating. Then you can reach out to me and we can do that. So it's visionsbeyondthedesert.com, and you can book there. I've already had a few readings, and it's been really fun, and I've met some really cool people. I have a few more that are booked for next week, so I'm pretty excited about that. And the week after.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I would love to meet with you if that's something that you're called to do. And you can scroll faster.
Well, I'm just giving people time to read it.
Yeah. So we have the 30-minute, the 1 hour, and then the.
I hope people don't sleep on the meditation though, because meditation seems like it is like the
so relaxing
of everything.
Yeah.
And she does the best. She does great guided meditations, and she'll consult you.
Look at all of these things that you can get as well.
Yeah, it's been really interesting, and everybody's been different. That's the other thing that I've noticed is it's been different with everybody. You can stop sharing if you want to. With everybody that I've met with, it's all different. So it's pretty cool. And the other thing is that we want to show our books.
Yes,
we want to show our books. So Johnny's book is now available.
Yep, the frequency formula, and it's about the Grabovoi codes. And it's a great way to really align with the energy of the universe, and you can just really help manifest the life that you want to co-create. It's a great tool to have. And we were just speaking with one of our friends and who had the book, and it resonated with one of her friends, and they actually took the book, and so she wants to get another one. But I'm just thrilled that I'm getting some of the feedback that I've been getting, because it's just actually really what I wanted it to do, and I can't believe it's doing it.
Yeah.
It's great.
And it's even helped all of us too. I mean, I've seen a huge difference with mine, and I know you guys had what, like 5 or 6 you're working on.
Yeah.
So I'm only doing 2.
And I remember Tim the other night on one of our shows, and he was saying that he's been working overnight for like 25, 30 years or something, and this is the best sleep he's got by using one of the codes.
Yeah. And then Annette with a lower back. I mean, we just had Yeah, we just had great feedback, and it's I'm happy. I'm happy people can really be helped with it and see that they can manifest and don't don't just try to manifest small things. You can manifest as
Anything.
big as you could imagine. It's
Stop
there.
sharing.
You already have it. You just got to get it.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool too. And then we also have the my book that we're going to show.
Yeah.
Like zones out for a minute. We're going to be like, hi.
I'm tired. Okay, here we go.
So yeah, here's my book, and it's kind of like a memoir slash journal. Even Emma edited my book for me, and
If you need an editor,
yeah. So that's available on Amazon too, through Kindle and paperback, and it just goes through some of the things that I was going through as I was awakening once my vision started, and how I started interacting with other consciousness and started building a relationship with my own guidance, and learned that I had a soul family that was outside of our planet, which was fascinating.
And you have the prettiest cover I have ever seen in a book.
yeah, this is phenomenal. Oh, it's a little pit.
Thank you. Yeah, when that came together, I was super, super excited and happy about it. And basically, all of the elements on the top of that, on the cover, are just things that I've seen in visions. So it was pretty exciting. I love how it turned out too.
Yeah, really nice.
Why'd you add the hummingbird?
It's the first page in the book. It tells you the story. Well, not the very first page, but the first page you can read in the book.
Which is an incredible story because hummingbirds do not do what that bird did and what the mother did.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually still have the videos of that.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful experience. It was sad, but it was a beautiful
Little
experience.
texture.
Yeah, little
Yeah.
pit.
So
But-
I'm not sure if we're going to get Dr. Sharnael today. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I reached out to her, but I couldn't get her. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll have to reschedule if she doesn't come on and see. But we can cover a couple of things that we're kind of working on. You've got 2 other books that are ready to go. You just kind of have to find the time to put them through the process of printing them out.
Yeah, and publishing and the whole thing. But yeah, so what was going on before the frequency formula was I was doing a sales book series from beginner. It would be a little more advanced, and then old school versus new school. And I wanted to, and there's also a sales workbook. So it's almost like a high performance planner where you can, whatever goals you have in the morning, you can see what you did at the end of the day. And if the whole idea is if every day you can just get 1% better, by the end of the year, that's a 365% change. And so you just 3x your skills, your talents, abilities, and just think where that can land you.
Yeah.
And hopefully we don't just build 1%, but even if you did, it's still an amazing return. And anyway, so that's what I was looking to do because I want to open up and start taking on more people that I can coach through sales and because I think sales is good for almost of any industry.
Mhm.
You need to be able to sell your products and tell people why you can help them.
Yeah.
Because that's really what it's about. So that would be coming out. I just put that on hold because when I saw the number, the Grebovoy digits.
It's the universe presented you with something else.
I just that's what I focused on. But that's going to be coming.
Yeah. Well, that'll be good too because since I want to start my business too, that might help me with that because I'm not big on like social media and marketing, and that's so key with anything.
Yeah.
That you have to be able to have that skill on
Yeah.
some level.
Yeah.
So it's going to be nice to kind of fine tune that.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's hard to do. I mean, even for me with the website and the book and everything, to try to find ways to market it has been it's not my wheelhouse. It's not something that
Well, technology can be really complicated too. I
Yeah.
mean, and then it's like the right verbiage and getting it at the right time and everything. There's so many like factors that play into it. So it's going to be good to have that as like a guide with that. And you're like an expert. I'm like, Dad, how do I do this?
Yeah, well, I've been doing it long enough, but really what I love, it's fun being Well, it's nice being an individual contributor, but you don't have any responsibility of other people. But my passion does lie with coaching,
Yeah.
and I love having a team to coach and watching them build their skill and being able to promote them. That was one of the things I got in trouble for at our job, believe it or not, is I was promoting people too fast. But there is something to that because you want to make sure you don't hurt your team, you don't hurt the production. But I'm more concerned about developing people and not so, so. But it was happening at such a fast pace, they had to slow it down and say, okay, you can't. But everyone wanted my people because I looked at it like instead of training them how to sell the product we had, I was training them how to be the best version of themselves when they're client facing, and they became selling machines, and they killed it.
Because then once they have that, if they have that personality and that potential, and they're able to tap into it, it's like you can sell anything. You can sell a piece of paper, it doesn't matter. But if you have that,
well, as long as they
warm, personality, then anyone's going to be willing to listen. And that's the biggest thing, You taught me that too when we worked at the bank.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
anybody can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm excited about those books to come out too, because even though I feel like we're kind of switching from the way things went before, and we're going into like a new place, and so heart-centered stuff is going to come into play more, I think, than they did before. But you always kind of lead that way anyway.
Yep.
Like when we were at the same bank, people would be doing investments with you, and by the time that they left, I was like introducing you to them, and by the time they left, they're hugging you. You're like inviting people to our wedding, and so he just like makes friends with people, and they're like, but so I think it'll be good, and if you're still in that place where you haven't stepped fully out anymore, to be able to have like it transitional into a place where it's still something where you feel like you're helping people and you're doing something that's a positive for them, but it's not out of your field yet. You're still working on sales. So
yeah, and to be honest, no matter what it is, even if you're trying to help people with like something like what we're really trying to do is we're trying to go, we're going through the ascension, right? We want to be on the best timeline. If you are not in a positive state of mind, if you're not working from gratitude and have a pure intent in your heart, working from your heart space, you're not going to be consistently good as a salesperson. You may have a couple of good months, but it'll be very inconsistent. It'll fluctuate widely because all you're doing is chasing a commission. That never works. So if you do it the right way, even in the new, when we get to a new timeline, if you're at a high vibration, don't everyone's got to. They want to move their stuff to help people continue to grow. There's still going to be millions and millions of people that need to move up with different programs, like say your meditation. And it is good to have some knowledge on how to move people to take action.
Yeah. And so I got the benefit of having a couple of really cool conversations with some of our friends that are in the community. And I got a lot of insight, especially with things going on. I don't know if you guys are feeling it, but it feels like there's a shift going on that feels like it's almost rapid. I don't know. Do you feel like time just seems like it's working a little bit differently?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like it's moving fast, but then it's also moving a little bit slow. It's hard to explain, but it just doesn't feel like it.
I think it's moving faster, but it feels easier to see, like easier to control. It's not moving faster. It's like, oh my God, where did the time go? We didn't get this. It feels like it's moving faster, but it's like a controlled chaos.
It's like a fluid.
Yeah, it's
feel
really
to it. Yeah,
actually.
That was kind of the basis of the conversation. It was about we're all kind of fighting a cold over here. So he's like at the tail end. Her and I are in the middle of it.
You got me sick.
I did it, guys.
But anyway, so that was kind of the basis of my first conversation, was talking about just how things seem like they're moving so quickly. It was like the things that maybe before, if you were talking about, for example, one of the things we were talking about in our conversation is a vacation. You would think like, okay, I need 2 weeks. I'm going to need this much money. I got to have time to do this and time to do that, go to this distance and all of those things. And now it doesn't feel like you've got to put so many barriers on or
so many steps.
Into whatever it is that you're doing. You could kind of go like 72 hours. I'm good. This is what I've got. This is, how I'm going to do things. And you're taking a lot more in in a shorter period of time, where before it would have felt undoable. But for some reason now we're just kind of doing it. We're just kind of moving through at a very rapid pace and kind of going in from one thing to the other. And not just a vacation, but just everything, information and changes in your life and how you're kind of moving through all those things. So it was a really beneficial conversation. And it kind of made me look at things a little bit differently. Some things where it feels different, that you're shifting out of something. And so it feels like, is this okay? Or, I don't know, the stability of it, you question, but then you realize like, oh, I'm doing it already. It's not.
It's like treading unfamiliar waters, but having that faith, taking that leap of faith, like, okay, it's going to work out fine.
Yeah.
Well, also there's people who are going to be close to you, right? People who are in your circle, people, or even in your soul family that are around you. But if they're not resonating or vibrating at the speed you are, and you're moving forward, everything's moving in the right direction. But some people they're moving at their own pace, and you got to let them. And you have to
Give them space.
become okay with it.
Yeah.
It was so funny because that's where my first conversation, kind of where we were ending, we were talking about, I got a beautiful opportunity to get some advice from a group that my friend channels.
Mhm.
And it was, whenever I get that opportunity, it's amazing. And that's what they were saying to me, was kind of like picturing myself on this shift of very fast moving water, kind of flowing quickly, and not all the boats kind of around me are gonna pick up through that tide and go with me. They're still moving forward, but they might be diverted to a different direction, or they might be going at a slower pace. And so, everybody's not going to move and shift with you.
Yeah.
And that's okay though. Like, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, everybody's got their, their way that they're going to do it. So anyway, that's where that first conversation was kind of ending. And then my second conversation of the night, when I was talking to my other, I don't even know what to call her, just she's so close to us. And we were talking, like family. And we were kind of picking up with that conversation too. And it was about really seeing people moving in different directions that maybe you really resonated with at one point, and you're not resonating with as much anymore. And how it's like, it's okay to kind of let that kind of fall away, because you got to keep, moving forward. So they both gave me really interesting
advice.
Yeah, it was, and it's not that I was like going like, this is happening, but then I realized once these things were coming in, it was like, this is happening. It's happening.
It popped up for a reason.
Yeah, like with our friends and family. It was like, you just see this shift happening.
Yeah.
And
I felt like that too, though. I mean, I really am seeing it more so. Remember how we were saying like it's speeding up, but I feel like as time goes on, you do see like that shift where you're not having the same connections anymore.
Yeah.
But it's your perspective on it. It's some people just grow apart, but I feel like, I don't know if I can properly articulate it, but I just recognize the circle's getting smaller and smaller, and it's so important to protect your energy and your time.
Yeah.
Not saying obviously be kind and everything, and if you see people, hey, how you doing, but just kind of knowing where to keep things at a surface level and who you can bring in and share that time and energy, because it's so important, especially now because we're going through so many shifts and the energy out there is crazy right now.
Yeah, and also there are, you know what, you're 100% correct. That's the right thing to do, because they're just energy suckers out there. They'll
just recognizing what you're dealing with,
high and by.
Just be very, very cognizant of that. Protect yourself and your energy. There's nothing wrong with having those boundaries.
I've never said that.
Oh,
you just made that up.
No, he didn't. We just saw it on something.
Oh, you did? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, we were watching Megyn Kelly.
Yeah.
And she said that. And I was like, what does that mean? And then he told me, I was like, oh, okay. You know what it is?
No, I don't. I'm sitting here trying to figure it out.
After round.
Oh, find out. Why'd you just say that?
Because I don't want to curse.
Oh, anyway, so
formal.
it was interesting to kind of have those conversations and discussions. It's interesting when it puts things in perspective and other people are kind of coming in. But like I said, we weren't even looking for that. It wasn't like the first conversation I was having. We were just trying to catch up and like chat, and then it turned into this whole very deep, poignant kind of conversation and stuff. And then I felt like it kind of picked up where my other one left off with my other good friend in the evening, and it was kind of like almost the same kind of a theme, and I found that really interesting. It's like when spirit talks to you, and then you get those synchronicities of how things kind of unfold in that way. And I was thinking about it in terms of even the website, because I was thinking about, it's interesting, but people will find you that kind of resonate with you and need, to get clarification on things or whatever, but it'll be those people that really find that they can resonate with you,
Yeah, and I think the big you have to kind of really stand in if you're moving in this and you're gonna move with that energy, you got to stand in it 100% and know that you know, hey
Hey,
Debs, if anything happens, no matter what it is, if anything happens, if your heart was in the right spot and you move forward,
yeah,
you can't question. You don't want to question yourself with everything you're doing. Just move forward in the world. You put out good energy. You're doing the right thing, and
Yeah.
the people who are going to be around you are doing the same. And the people who aren't, they're just on their own time.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. It was really a nice. It turned out to be a really nice afternoon for me, or day for me yesterday, because I felt like I just got to be with, when you just have those conversations with people, and
Yeah.
it just feels like it was almost
Meant to be.
well, not even, yeah,
Just
definitely meant to be.
synchronicities. It's just like it's popping up.
Yeah, almost
Or
like
listen.
you're, I don't know, better for it, or you got some new perspective or something
Yeah.
into things that you didn't even realize that you were kind of looking at. So that was really cool. It's nice to have those kind of friends that can kind of walk you through a thought process.
Sometimes you need that like outside perspective too. It's like, what is it like in the Hangman when you kind of shift your perspective on it? Because you're
Yeah.
going to look at it your way,
Mhm.
and then they're going to look at it their way. But also, what is it? What is that saying? There's your perspective, my perspective, and then the truth, or something like that.
Yeah,
So it's another way to. It's all about how you're looking at it.
yeah,
Yeah, you know what? It was funny. A while back, I was working with remember Larry Elson, the life coach,
yeah,
and he used to always talk about lock on, lock out, lock on, lock out, lock on, and it's like he told a story like when he was at a Denny's, and he was so annoyed that the waitress didn't come over for a little bit, and he wanted a coffee, and he kept waiting for the waitress, but and so he was so locked on to the waitress, he locked out the fact that there was a full pot of coffee on the table already in Denny's. And so what happens is it's that's it is when people lock onto something, you lock out everything. So to have those different perspectives, especially in this time, is very important, because we're not part of the kind of all the sheep that you know what I mean. It's kind of like we're not part of we're moving up, we're going into some new things. So the people who are normally around us that don't are moving like that, they're going to be the ones that can throw doubt, right? Or will make us feel like maybe we're moving away we got to stop. Or, they can make us doubt or judge what we're doing or saying. So I think that we getting different perspectives from people like who you spoke to yesterday, I think is massively important, especially with what you're doing and the people you're trying to help with the website and your sessions.
I think I've come to the realization that also it's like really important at this period of time to surround yourself with people who make you feel like a better version of yourself.
Yes.
You have to feel like you're can give something to them, and you're gaining something from them in order for it to be a positive in your life. You really have to have that. It came up like 3 or 4 times recently where I was seeing like you are like the 5 people that you're closest to. You're a reflection of that. That's your mirror. So So it's really important to surround yourself with people who you feel like can make you feel better.
Show me the 5 people you spend the most time with, and I'll show you who you are.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's so true. And, you have to take stock in that because those are really important. Those are really important people that, right? So it was that aspect of it was interesting. And I was thinking about it even in terms of like family. It's like interesting because you think to yourself, like I have 5 kids, right? And there's some that I'm closer to and some that I'm not as close to. But you look at that dynamic and it's kind of like it's an interesting thing. But it was funny because our son Nick just showed up here based on other stuff that was going on in his oh, Sharnael's calling me.
Oh, she'll be there at 12:30. Well, it's at 10:30, right? In 3 minutes she'll be in.
Okay.
Oh, good. That's awesome. Sharnael will be on in a couple minutes. All right. The good doc.
Okay. She just got the time confused, so she's looking at it. But anyway.
Oh, but you were saying about Nick. Nick is here.
Oh yeah, I was saying that our son Nick showed up, and he had it for something else that was going on. He has his son is an athlete, and anyway, he got a sports injury, so he took a leave so that he could be here, and he's staying with us because we're staying in his house while he's deployed. And I said it's no coincidence. I don't think that he would come during this time. It was almost like to kind of gain that resonance or to focus in that resonance that we have with each other, right? By him being here. So it was just, because there are no coincidences, right? So I just found that interesting that he would be here. And thank you, Deborah. We worked hard on that website, and I'm glad that you like it. I love it. I love the way that it turned out. I think it's good. It's got a couple kinks. I had somebody reach out to me that was trying to pay with like American Express and they couldn't. We ended up having to do it through PayPal. But we're gonna get with our merchant services and figure that out. But other than that,
it's all go. And then and staying with this, I think, and you're kind of Deborah makes good points all the time.
Yeah,
she's really tuned in. But yeah, again, yeah, you at this point, and I'm at the point now too because I'm the me, I'm the first one. I always have like one foot in 3D, one foot in something else. I'm always kind of distracting myself. So the biggest thing I learned in from her, we talked about it yesterday, is you got to stop distracting yourself because it's like we distract from what's happening, but you're not working through what you need to. You just suppressed it with distraction, and it's still going to show up. So you didn't even. It's like putting a very small band-aid on a very big wound that's going to continue to kind of fester. So you continue to move forward, like Deborah said. Don't feel stagnant. Don't be stagnant. But move through it and stop distracting, and really do the work because and just keep moving forward. And like I said, whoever falls behind, and we'll always give them a hand up when we can, but we have to continue to move forward. And that's kind of going to be my focus from now on. I got to stop, I'm not going to, I can't distract anymore. I got to just dive in. You got to 100% commit, otherwise it's not going to work.
and the thing is too, is that not everybody's meant to be on your journey the whole time, right? Some people come in to your life for a period of time for a certain reason and you're resonating with them. That was the other thing that my first conversation yesterday when we were discussing is that, you could have a friendship group that's maybe 100 people, and that feels like a really big group that you would have. And how good of a friend are you that you could keep up with everybody and do all those kind of things. But on a soul level, you could have 50,000 people that are in your soul tribe, your soul group. And they may come in this life or they may not. And if they do come into this life, they may come in for a period of time to work with you on something, to do something, but then they kind of resonate out and it leaves room for somebody else to kind of come in that's in resonance with where you are at that period of time, and you work on things and you do things together, and then they kind of find their way out again. Same thing, you're kind of moving through with your soul tribe at different periods of time that you have, but not everybody's meant to, be with you for your entire life, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just
a reason or a season. Isn't that what they say? People come into your life for a reason or a season.
Yeah.
Yep. And it goes with everything, whether it's relationships, everyone's Mr. Right, it could be Mr. Right now. It could be a lesson you need to learn now to move forward to find the person you need to be with. So, I think I'm real. I never, everything happens for a reason. And it is incredible, some of the things that happen. And you see the lessons you learn from it and how it really propels you forward in your next endeavor with whoever, whether it's business, personal, or what have you.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
Oh, here we go. No.
Hey,
Oh my God.
how you
I'm so
doing?
sorry. I had it on for 12:30 for some reason. I just had, I don't know. Anyway, hi.
Hi. How are
Good
you?
to see you.
And we're live. Oh my God. Even worse. Oh my gosh. Lord. I just got back from the conference and yeah, this has been fun. Funny story, I've been at the vet this morning because my dog is officially an ascended master now.
Whoa.
I'm not gonna go too much into it, but let's just say she got into my suitcase and ate some things.
Oh geez.
She's alive, but she's yeah. So
she's living the life.
she's alive, and she is she's more than conscious.
Aww.
How are you guys doing?
We're good. Yeah, we were just talking about my website. I'm doing sessions now with people, one-on-one sessions. So we were talking about that and meditation consultations, and we showed Johnny's book. Johnny just had a book published, and then my book. So got a lot of things that are kind of going on, exciting things, and they could just catching up with some friends yesterday. But when you have those conversations with people, and it's like you walk away from it feeling like you have a better perspective just on everything. It's like a deep kind of, and I got to have like 2 of those yesterday. Yeah. And one of our friends was like, she's a channeler, and she ended up channeling, information for me, and it was just a beautiful day yesterday. So I got a lot out of it, and I was feeling really, I don't know, like I hit a new sense of understanding things. So it was pretty cool.
That is awesome. I love when that happens.
Right? Yeah, it was pretty cool. So, but we're so excited that you're here. We're so excited to have you here. We've been wanting to have this conversation with you for so long, and this one didn't get to say a whole bunch last time.
I'm like, I got my questions ready this time.
Oh my God.
I get to ask them this time.
Okay. Okay, I'm here for you. Whatever you throw them at me, I'll do my best. I don't know if I got the answers, but I'll do everything I can to know.
So let's jump in then. So Johnny really wanted to talk about outcome mapping, and I wrote it wrong on the thumbnail, but he wanted to talk about outcome mapping, and Emma really wants to talk about the more holistic health side stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be kind of bipolar a little bit, but not really, but a little bit different. But since we're already a half hour in, I guess I'm just going to shut up and let you guys
Well, I'll have Dad go first.
So I do have an outcome mapping class coming up. Did you guys get to go to the last one?
No. I saw it on the website, and it was, this is very new to me because with Jake Ray, he does some what was it? Instead of past life regression, he does like
progression, like
future
QHHT stuff, but it's
yeah. And so I never heard of that before, and so I said, how interesting. And then on your website, I saw outcome mapping. I said, oh wow. And so I just wanted to just to kind of get the like what the possible outcomes and how is it? Can we predict outcomes, or just maybe?
What is it first?
Yeah, what is it? Is it for? Does it help in the different types of ways, like in personal, business, or what? How would you best explain it?
Oh, there's Jake. Speak of him.
Yeah.
What's up, Jake? How's it going? So my mentor, I learned it through my mentor, Bob Stevens, and he called it mind mapping. But when I started doing the classes with him, I was like, well, this is kind of outcome mapping. And then later I actually changed it to income outcome mapping, because it's just a way of using quantum physics on paper. I'm very visual, right? So like if you give me directions like verbally, it's over. Like I just, it goes in one, I don't know why it doesn't like land for me. But if you show me, or if you tell me, if you turn right at the McDonald's, like for me, I can do that. But if you say north, south, whatever, and or just go 3 miles that way and then this way, like it's already gone. So for me, putting things on paper quantumly has helped me be able to create in a way that was faster. And outcome mapping was what it was called because it was to get your outcome, to not just be from A to B, meaning a lot of the programming that we have, like growing up, even as a kid, it's like, do you want to make the soccer team? You want to get good grades, whatever. It's like you make these goals, right? And for outcome mapping, it's different because you don't want to, if you're trying to if you're in A and you're trying to get to B, then the energy of getting to B at B is still trying. Does that make sense? Because you're like, I'm in A and I'm trying to get to B, and the goal is to get to B, to get to B, to get to B, which by definition means you're not at B, actually.
Oh, yeah, because you're trying to get there.
Right? It's like trying to get out of the chair. And it's like, okay, you either get out of the chair or you don't get out of the chair. There is no try, right?
Oh,
It's like,
yeah, that's right.
Yes. So for me, I envision already being in B. So I first identify where I am, and then I identify where I choose what I choose the outcome to be once I am in my goal. Because if you're already in your goal and you get in your eyeballs looking out as if it's already happening, your limbic system, which is behind your frontal lobe, cannot tell the difference between imagination or tending to as if it's happening and or already being there. Just like if you listen to music or watch a movie, literally you'll have the same responses chemically and physiology wise and biology wise as if it's happening, even though it's a fake show. And that's why it's really not good to watch like horror movies or Dateline or things like that, because your body, yeah. And I didn't get that at first. I mean, I used to be the big, like, I didn't watch horror shows. I never have like that, maybe as a teenager, but I used to really love like Dateline. And then I realized when those two beings showed up, one of the things that I got out of it is, what are you thinking? And I got that scripture, that ancient text that says, whatever is beautiful, whatever is lovely, whatever is good, whatever is good report, think on these things. And then I was convicted and reminded all the time, like anytime I would turn on the television and it was like not good report, then I'm like, I would hear that voice that said, what are you looking at? What are you listening to? What are you thinking? And I was like, and I would hear, is this good news? And I'd be like, sorry, my bad. So, so being in this simulation, we are creatures. Why are we called creatures? Because we're creators. And every one of us are creating all the time, not only individually, but on a conscious level as a collective, we're also creating. So the less people that are focusing on the negative, the better our entire consciousness will shift and hit that tipping point of being in the positive and focusing on the positive, because there has to be a tipping point one way or the other, you know, and I think we are coming to more of a balance in these moments, and we're hitting that golden age spot where it is going to tip, and we are going to start creating something more positive, because there's a momentum now, especially in the last 100 days. My God, it is like sped up. But with outcome mapping, I call it income mapping too, because we only get what we are. So if we're in B, focusing on it already happened, and we're using our imagery or imagination, or we're imaging a nation where it already happened, whether it's business, partnership, health, you know, it's like, now that I am already healed and I'm already divine health, what's new and different for me? And then you start imagining as if it's happening, and you're looking out, like, who's calling you? What are they saying? What are the doctors saying? What is your friend saying? What are you hearing? What are you doing differently that you haven't done before? And when you write all those things down on a map and you see them, and then you're drawing them out kinetically, your body comes into agreement with it's already happened. The chemistry all lands as if it's already happened, and your body goes into healing because it's already happened as far as the body's concerned. And then and you start healing. And the same thing with money. If you're trying to, you know, get money or a new business deal, my kids have used it to make. My daughter made cheerleader in 2 weeks. She's never even done gymnastics, and she was doing aerials in 2 weeks. Like, she not only made cheerleader, but she was doing. I mean, we can do anything. I've had people who outcome mapped after they took this class. They called me all excited because they were like, oh my God, I outcome mapped, and someone knocked on my door and brought me some money, and basically said, we don't know why, but we thought we were told to come bring you this. And it was the exact amount of her car note. And I said, what did you map? And she said, I mapped for my monthly note this month, because she said she didn't have the money to pay her car note. And I was happy for her, but I was also like, why didn't you just map for your entire car to be paid off?
That's what I thought as soon as you said that.
Yeah, because it takes the same energy to imagine your entire car being paid off versus your map. I had another lady who asked for more money. That's all that she had in the map. Well, she got a check in the mail for like 3 cents, and it was like literally one of those computer checks that's like, oh, you earned $1 or whatever. Like, well, it's more, it's like, but I had another lady who mapped, and she had wanted a new car. She wanted it to be so-and-so color, this kind of brand, all this stuff. And 3 days later, her kid came home and gave her a little toy car, the exact car that she asked for, but she didn't put in there the so-and-so transmission and blah, 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 blah. So she got the car, but it wasn't exact because she wasn't specific. So repetition is really important. Feelings are really important, and specificity is really important. Those are the big things in outcome mapping, because you only get the income of what you put out in the field. And when you put out in the field what you choose, and you get a match to it, because again, ancient scriptures say, ask and it will be given.
Yeah. It seems like it ties into what you do with the languaging, the words that you use and don't use, or you're not supposed to use, and really be cognizant of that, because it seems like it would be really important with outcome mapping. Because if you're using the wrong words, or kind of the negative, that can be taken negatively by the subconscious, you're never gonna do that, right? An outcome map in a positive way.
Well, also the feeling with it as well. What's the feeling behind it?
Yeah, when we were talking about it last time, words are really important. And we all say, like, let's protect ourselves. Like, say, if you are protecting yourself, that means you're getting attacked.
Right.
That's what, so it's like,
you're secure. That's what Dr. Sharnael taught me.
Yeah, no, I say that now too. It's like, I always remember, I don't need to be protected. I'm secure with that, because you also don't want to block yourself off from something else that could come in.
Yeah, it's just, but that's how, that's like really specific, but it's really, that's how important it is.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I work with people, and we can actually do a map together, like one-on-one. because sometimes people will actually use the wrong words even in their map, and they get something non-specific and or not what they choose, and so I'll coach them to be more specific. Like, for example, I had a lady who was like, she said that she wanted to make $10,000 a month. And I said, well, what is it that you would like to do now that you have the $10,000 a month? What are you doing? And she said, I'm giving it to orphans, which is a nice thing to do, right? But if you're creating and you're God and I'm not God, but I'm saying God is in all my cells, and we are creatures which are creators in his image, in her image, whatever, source's image. The minute we put giving to orphans, we're creating orphans to give to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, so I work with people to make it really streamlined on whatever they choose with specificity, so we're not mishapping our creations. I had another lady that I was talking to, and we were trying to get to the root of what was going on with some things that were happening in her field, and she was talking about her and her husband not really in agreement on having more children, and just wanting to have like peace in that. But she was going back and forth on some things. On first she wanted to, then she didn't, and I said something like, I don't even remember the question, but she said, I said, can you do this? And then she said, I don't want to. And I said, did you hear what you said? You said, I don't want to. And she had already had one child, and she was talking about something completely different, but really what she was in the subconscious was coming up. I don't want to. And that was what was, the crutch of what was the argument or whatever, or the disagreement. And so it kept coming up in different ways. Or I don't have to is like, I don't have. So that's the thing is, what is it that you don't have? What is it that you're feeling you don't have? What is it that you require that you think you don't have? And so just listening as a soundboard of what people are saying, I can usually find the snag in like 3 or 4 minutes, and then we can clear that so people don't keep creating something that isn't serving their highest.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that so if when you do it with one person, and then you figure the ripple effect it may have, and then how many people you can help. So if we look at it as far as if we go on I'll finish up here with my question so Emma could do her stuff. But
I'm like looking at him like,
so there are so many people that do feel trapped, financially, mentally, spiritually. It just, there's a lot of confusion out there still. And so, if they're feeling stuck like that by the system, how can the outcome mapping give them that sovereignty to take control? And how have you seen real future shifting for people, like when they do it the right way by getting your mentorship and you guide them through it? What the impact? What's some of the impact that it's had? Like,
Well, I mean, health-wise, financial-wise, partnership. We did a I Am My Divine Partner class, and we were teaching basically on this. And out of that class, there were 6 engagements. Yeah, and I think probably a couple of them are married by now. But yeah, just again, and we're in Valentine's Day, right? Pretty soon here. It's really when we hone down on what we choose, we collect and magnetize our highest. But most of us are so asleep in what we're thinking, what we're talking about, what we're saying, what we're feeling, that we're mishapping on or miscreating by default of the subconscious instead of what our highest is. And we're not even seeing, what it is. Like, I don't muscle test myself because I feel like my willpower is so strong that sometimes I will get the outcome I choose instead of, I'll make it happen. And so same thing with mapping. It's not, unusual for you to have a coach of some kind to kind of see what you're not seeing. You know, we need each other, and that, or we, you know, that's why there's so many of us with so many diverse giftings. Is
Mhm.
it's good to have somebody that may be able to hear something or see something that you're not seeing, as long as they're seeing you in love and they're actually seeing you in your miracle, and if they've done something that you haven't done before. I'm not going to go get a coach that read about doing something. You know, you can feel the difference too. It's like either somebody went through it and they know, versus, you know, oh yeah, I read this book and now I know how to heal cancer. And it's like, you know, it's like, you're going to go to a dentist that read a book about it, or are you going to actually go to a dentist that does dentistry all the time, or a lawyer? Oh my God, you're not going to, oh yeah, I read about lawyer stuff, I'll be your lawyer. No. Um, so, you know, in my case, when I started mapping, I reversed cancer, and I reversed thousands of people from cancer. Now, I had a really strong PhD in bad picking assholes, you know, and I reversed that, and I'm with the love of my life. You know, I was, you know, definitely financial situation. I was on literally food stamps and living on the floor with 3 kids at my parents' house for 6 months because we lost everything. And you know, through the divorce and whatever. And I was like, I created something new. So, you know, we didn't have Christmases, and I was selling my blood literally 3 times a week to just support my 3 children under 7 at the time. So and now I have multiple businesses and multiple homes, and I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying this is what we can create if we choose, and when we choose, because this is what our technology does. And I help people do this all the time to get out of debt, which, you know, whatever, and or be thriving, not just surviving, you know. So yeah, there's lots of people that I work with, and we've seen lots of great testimonies and hear them all the time. A matter of fact, funny story. Have you ever watched The Office?
Yes, I
Okay.
love that show.
Okay. David Wallace, who's Andy Buckley, he is a really good friend of ours, and we met him at a Matchbox 20 concert like a year ago. And for
I
whatever
remember when you went.
what's that?
I remember when you went to that and you were showing pictures.
I love Matchbox 20, and I love The Office. Matter of fact, I watched The Office when I was dealing with the cancer, and it was so helpful for me because I laughed and laughed and laughed, and literally, anyway, Andy and we just hit it off. David Wallace, whatever, you know, that guy, super brilliant, beautiful soul. And when I posted the pictures on Instagram of us, you know, meeting or whatever, and he saw them, and he like messaged me, and like we've just been like we literally talk almost like 5 times a week. And
Wow.
so he read my book, he found out I was coming to LA, and he saw it on my post or whatever, so he was like, hey, let's meet up. And you know, I want you to sign my book. He had read my book and loves the work and stuff. Anyway, we go to meet up Monday morning after this conference, just like 2 days ago, Monday. What day is it? Anyway, 3 days ago. And I was thinking he wanted to be like probably somewhere private, because I'm thinking big movie star, he's on Veeps, you know, whatever, and The Office and FUBAR. And I thought, you know, anywhere we go, he's going to be swarmed. He's going to get all these people wanting autographs and pictures. And there's a couple restaurants in the hotel. And he was like, well, I'll just meet you guys downstairs. I think there's a Starbucks down there or whatever. And I'm thinking, people are going to like bug him the whole time. There's so many people here. But he seemed cool with it. So my husband picks this table right in the front of this Starbucks. I mean, it's like a huge doorway to the lobby right when you first walk in. And he picked the very first table. And I'm like, why can't we not be in the back so no one will bug him? Because I don't want anyone to bug him while we're talking and him be distracted. And anyway, but he's like, he won't see us. So we sit right there. And he comes in, and I'm like, hey, did you want to move so nobody bugs you? And he's like, this is cool. We're fine. And I'm like, okay. So we sit there. he's got his book. He's like, hey, can you sign my book? And I was like, I actually brought you a book and a card deck and gave it to him. And now he has two. People started coming up. And I'm like, here we go. They're going to come try to get his picture and stuff. And people were like, hey, can you sign my book? Oh, I went to your class Saturday and I already had this miracle happen. I had this miracle happen. Another person comes up and is like, oh, I just wanted to tell you my miracle that already happened since Saturday. And I was just like, oh my God. And anyway, so he was like, I guess I should have went to your class. That's really nice. They must have really enjoyed your class. There's all these miracles happening and stuff. So anyway, just from Saturday to Monday, I've had about 45 messages from people in that class who've already had miracles happen.
Wow.
That's incredible.
So the next class is the 3rd of March. It's online if anybody wants to join. And you guys are members, I think, in my thing. So it's free to you guys. But yeah, definitely anybody who wants to join, I'll have it on my Facebook page or whatever. But what you got, Emily? What's up with you?
Well, she's going to show really quick.
We're just going to show your website.
And then we had her website somewhere. Do you see it up there?
Oh,
It got exited out. Yeah.
That's you, Doc.
that's me.
Oh, I think you have to stop sharing for it to work.
Hold on. Let me try it again.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like it changes things with it for us. It doesn't change that.
There we go.
There we go.
Hello.
So this is her website, drsharnael.com. And she's got online workshops there. And
March 3rd is the next outcome mapping. I think I want to be on that.
I know. I was going to say, I want to do that too. That's exciting.
I love that picture. Look at that dog. Oh my God.
Oh, look at the face on that dog.
Beautiful.
Which dog is that?
That's Willow.
Oh my gosh. She's
She
gorgeous.
descended without any help. She was just born ascended. She's amazing.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Absolutely gorgeous dog. But we got a lot of the stuff that help with like your home and the EMF protection and things like that. We've got it all over the house. We have a couple of your books too. And
Doc, you want to know, after we heard you know what I did? I grabbed the microwave, I unplugged it,
And he
I
threw it
right
out.
in the garbage.
we threw it out.
After we spoke to you. I mean, after we, about with the EMF stuff, right?
Yeah.
I unplugged it and threw it right in the garbage.
He just like, we finished watching it and he got up and went in there. And then all of a sudden he was like walking past me, with it. And I was just like, okay, guess that's out. He threw it out.
Another one bites the dust. I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, so you want to ask your question about holistic
my
stuff.
turn. Okay, so yes, I'm very big about like the holistic side of everything. I'm all about natural. I don't do medications. I don't do anything. And I'm a licensed esthetician as well, so I want to slowly implement like skincare and everything with that. So I wanted to ask, just kind of starting from the basics of it. I know everybody often gets exposed to like heavy metals, soft metals, toxins with everything that we ingest with that. So what are some common toxins and things that you see people are exposed to often, and how can we kind of eliminate that from, because they cause so many health issues and so many even like on a spiritual level too. I notice even for myself, like I sometimes have an issue with connecting with things, and I know it's often caused by those said toxins. So what are some common ones that people you see people come into contact with?
You know what, fluoride is a biggie.
Mm-hmm.
But what's really crazy is perfume. Perfumes, and actual perfume, fragrances, and soaps, trash bags, cleaning supplies, major hormone disruptors, major cause of infertility, and both men and women. Hormone disruptors meaning cancer causing also. But something interesting about perfume too is we all have our actual pheromones, which attract. And there's a lot of studies on men and women they've done these studies where they go out to bars and they're not wearing perfume and they are wearing perfume, and who they attract and how things work, just like animals and how they find each other. Well, if we use something to mask and or distort the pheromones, we actually get a dissonance match
Wow.
because it's disrupted. And so we attract the wrong person, because we will attract people like our pheromones will go out and we'll actually find a match to someone who meets our immunity or somewhere helps our chemistry or our immunity, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, like everything. We'll find people who are best suited for our immunity or physical or mental. But when that's disrupted, it's like a jagged sound or signal that goes out, and we find someone who doesn't match us. Well, that is the match to that. And then when we stop using those perfumes or fragrances, you're sitting there looking at this guy like, why are we together and we don't get along at all?
Wow.
I didn't even think about that. That makes so much sense.
But having the essential oils on as like a perfume thing, that's okay, right?
Oils will actually, if they're the right oils, because we know FDA guidelines don't really serve us very well. 3 drops in a bottle, and they can call it therapeutic grade A and organic, meaning the entire bottle can only have 3 drops in it, and it's the rest could be anything, fillers or synthetics or hybrids or whatever cheap carrier. Those are not going to serve us very well. But if it's a full-on bottle of 100%, which I only know 2 companies that actually have a full-on bottle with 100%, those will enhance your natural pheromones and help. And they actually go into your field 4 to 5 feet out and really, really help magnetize and or create and or work with you and your field.
So what is it besides Young Living?
Swiss aromatics.
Swiss aromatics.
I never heard of it.
Well, also anything that what's great when you have a Dr. Sharnael in your corner, anything she has or deals with is going to be very researched.
Yeah.
And you can cut as if you did the research. It's just going to be the right way and it's going to help. And like right with the headaches, that we plugged the thing and my headache was gone. I mean, it's just incredible. So anything that she does, does the research and it's amazing. Yeah. It's on anything on her site.
Yeah, and if anybody's interested in essential oils, get with Lisa and John, because they have it and they know how to get it for you guys, and you guys just go to them and they'll hook you up.
Yeah, we give it away as gifts too, like to our family and stuff like that when they come over. Yeah. If they're like complaining about something or whatever, we're like, here's this. Let me go. Yeah, we go.
Emma gets sprayed in the face every time she walks through the door.
Oh,
every time she's like, yeah. But it really works. You can feel the difference. So that's why I wanted to ask if you can expand on with the essential oils. How do they influence the body's energy and frequency?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a good one. Really good one. So we're 67 megahertz on a healthy adult day. If we drop, then we're basically susceptible to lower energies and sickness. So not just like handing over the keys to your biofield to entities, which I can tell on biofeedback if someone is doing different things to lower their frequency and to attract those things, because it'll show up on the reports like psychic attack, cords that need to be cut. The field will be really, really low. Also affects like, emotions and energies, because usually people who have a really low frequency are also a little bit scattered in the neurotransmitters, EEGs, and also the emotion page, because they're kind of thrown to the wind, by just any energies that come in. And You know, we are all transmitters and receivers,
Mhm.
and we all have empathic gifts. Some people are a little more further along than others. But when we increase the frequency, it enhances all the gifts. And it also puts up a shield in the field. Hey, I made a rhyme. A shield in the field that it's kind of like the Psalms 91 thing where nothing can come in except for that match. So if we raise the frequency to a higher number, then we'll only match to higher frequency beings, people, opportunities, money, jobs, health, you know, you fill in the blank, because all, you know, there can be really high opportunities and really low opportunities, or patterns. So with oils, at least the company that we're working with, like if we're 67 on a healthy adult day, you can still add to and or increase that by using oils, meaning like lavender's 98, peppermint's, I mean, sorry, peppermint's 98, lavender's 118 megahertz, like helichrysum's 157, rose is 320. You know, they all have their own frequency because they are the alive plant of a blood of the blood. I mean, blood of a plant, which is alive. And if you've done any research with Clive Baxter, you know, there's so much there with that too, because he basically was the pioneer of the lie detector test. And he would work with plants on lie detectors. And he would do these these awesome research studies where he would like talk to the plants. And of course, if it was positive, then the lie detector would come out like really, you know, calm and beautiful. And if he like yelled at the plant, then it would make like stressful marks.
Oh.
But then they started doing things like trying to light the fire to one of the leaves. You know, a lady would come in, there would just be a plant on a lie detector, and one woman would walk in with the match to like light up the plant. And of course, it would stress out. If there were other plants there, all the plants would in unison stress out, watching or feeling the other plant being burned, or cut.
That
Yeah.
makes me want to cry. Oh,
Yeah, and it got to a point where the third time the lady walked in with the matches, and she didn't even like pull the matches out yet, and the plant already remembered her and immediately started like freaking out, because it was like, oh my God, that's the lady with the matches that came in last week. And then all the other plants would freak out as well. And actually, they did this with scissors too. And what's cool and interesting is not only did they have a memory of, you know, stabbing, cutting, but when they came in, the same lady with scissors would prune the plant instead of just like hacking it. The pruning, they responded really well, even though before she was hacking and they were scared and didn't like it and stressed out. When she started pruning with the same scissors, it would calm down and be like, okay, she's trying to help me instead of hurt me. And it knew the difference, had the memory. And the FBI actually got a hold of this, and they started taking plants and animals out of crime scenes instead of doing the lineup where they had somebody come and sit behind like a window and point out, you know, the murderer or the rapist. They would just have a room with the plant hooked up to the thing or an animal hooked up to the thing. And they would take one person in one by one, and they could actually detect who the murderer was, who the rapist was by memory. And you know, we don't have the laws in effect, you know, for our cat to be on the stand, meow, 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 you know. But yeah, maybe this is where we're going, but
That's
you know,
incredible.
but the oils, the blood of the plant is alive. And this is what is, you know, I think scripture even says like blood is alive, and it tells a story. And same thing with the plants. You know, the plants are for the healing of the nations, and also they are alive. And this blood of the plant is so amazing and powerful that when we put it on our skin, it actually goes through the blood barrier and the brain barrier to help us and to serve us. in all the different ways, frequency wise, like you mentioned, but also antibacterial and, all the other, pain, all
Hey,
the,
Doc, so if let's say the rose
The rose water.
well, yeah, that's it, like 320 frequency. If a normal healthy day is 67, do you average the two, or do you go right to 320, and then how long does it stay at 320 before it starts to come down?
I have not seen someone actually get to 320, like just by using it, but you will get close. You'll get right up there.
Okay.
And it'll cycle out in about 4 hours, and then you have to reapply.
Okay.
And or hey Tyler, and or if you have, you guys don't forget to go to his conference. But anyway, if you use a crystal, which is why I use the crystal card deck, if you use a crystal with the oils, the crystal will record and hold the memory of the oil, so it'll last as long as you have the crystal in it. And or if you use a card, the card has the memory of the crystal and the oil, and you could just use the card for the
That's incredible too. Just the picture on the card holds it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were talking about that last time she was here.
Yeah.
We have the card. We use your cards too, but because that's incredible. Like you could literally stick it
Yeah.
underneath your pillow. You can carry it around with you all day. It was fun because we'll just like pull one and see what we get. And then it's kind of like
It's always spot on though, like every single
weird?
time.
it's like if you shuffle them up and you just kind of grab one and stuff, and it's like, oh, it just seems like synchronistically it's always something that you're dealing with or that you wanted to deal with or you were just talking about or something. It's so funny how that happens.
And you want to know, I was watching something and it was about rats, so I apologize. But the rats were at something like stage 3 or 4 cancer. And what was happening is they were in like stage 3 and people were just with their words, like, talking to them in a mean way. And they were dying off. Those same rats that had stage 3 or they put them in stage 4 cancer. And the people, the doctors were speaking positively, just speaking to rats positively and doing positive things. They were starting to live way far longer, even with the cancer, and some of it did pull back. Some they saw the cure, it was happening, like, but they were but I couldn't believe, like, it was, they moved them from 3 to 4 and they died just from people being mean or talking. But it's not about being mean to animals. What it is like what she said, like it's so important to keep your frequency high.
Yeah.
And just that what communicate, even just words or the environment you're in is huge. And now it's like science. There's science behind it.
Okay, so before you ask your next question, I'm just going to ask her a question.
Go for it.
So what do you do if you have someone very close in your life that you spend a lot of time with and, there's not any way to not do that, and they're very, very negative, and you're doing all the extra stuff to try to keep yourself, but you can feel it, like,
It's like a blanket.
Yeah, it just kind of comes in, and there's a lot of days that I just don't have the energy I feel drained, So what do you do?
Yeah, there's a lot of things, a lot of techniques that I use. Number one, I imagine myself blazing light out to anyone and everyone that I touch, and I have different decrees, like I ignite Christ in everyone I contact. Only God touches me, only God sees me, only God hears me, not only verbally, but envisioning that like into my field. So we're blazing instead of being like a sponge, taking everything on. I do use a lot of oils to keep that frequency up because this field is transferable. And so they've seen under camera where people can, like if they're inverted on their field, meaning they have a really small field or they're inverted, they siphon from other people and live off of your energy, not cancel clear someone's energy, because they can't generate their own. And through like the victim stuff or, just woe is me or, whatever. And you can feel it. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. So to keep that field and that shield up, higher frequency things, and then envisioning that Psalms 91 situation where it's like, no, I'm just blazing, only God touches me. There's an ancient text that says, greater is he or she or God in me than he who's in the world. And just having that mental, like, whatever, but different oils really, really help. Crystals really help. And then just mentally not having sympathy, because sympathy is agreement.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
empathy is one thing, but sympathy is agreement. And so not coming into agreement with whatever their story is, and just remembering that only God touches me. I am not a big fan of cancel culture. So I'm with you. It's like, if you got to be around sometimes, people, then sometimes you just, whether it's family or whatever. But my kids are funny because I'm not obviously not going to name names, but there's some people in my life that we do have to be around sometimes, not have to, but we choose to out of love.
Right.
And not just being like, oh, you're low vibe, so I can't be your friend anymore. Like I'm so over the whole like polarization of things, of just everyone canceling everyone, and remembering that, God in me can blaze and touch everyone without me getting cooties from just being around someone. It's like not having that fear of, I am secure, like she was saying earlier, versus I am protected. But when we stay in that, I am love, and I stay in that frequency of, just owning God in me blazing out, then that's what keeps that field up. And we actually touch them and ignite them without the siphon, without them taking. And having good boundaries is good also. Just again, sympathy is not the best idea, because when we agree, and even verbally, if we agree, if they're just like, oh, all these bad things, and you're like, yeah, I know, we can accidentally come into agreement.
Okay.
And I'm not saying like argue either and be like, oh, that's not true, blah blah blah. But my kids are funny because they'll say, you were cancel clearing that whole time, weren't you? It's like, when people are in my head, I'll be like, cancel clear for them, for us, for me, and everyone in existence. Every time they say whatever, I'll just be like, cancel clear in my mind of, all the things that they want me to agree with. And if there's an opportunity, I'll say, hey, do I have permission to coach you? I don't just coach people if they don't want to be, I'll ask permission, and I'll say, hey, you know what? I have an upgrade for you. You want to hear it? And if they got permission, then I get to say, how about this instead of that? Or how about this belief? How about be alive in this?
Doc, should I cancel clear? What I do that, NLP a lot, where you pace lead.
Or
Is
what?
that pace lead? Like the neuro-linguistic programming, how they do that, where if someone let's say you have a young kid outside and he's having trouble, he comes in and goes, oh, I can't, he took my bike, and so you can't just go, all right, well, it's not that big of a deal, the bike's outside, because that's right, you're in conflict immediately. So you pace lead, so you pace the kid's energy. Oh, I can't believe how some of these kids act. Sometimes, you never know what's going on, but I understand that you're upset. But you know what? What if he was feeling uncomfortable because his brother got a bike and he didn't, and he just took your bike for a ride? What if you go to him, let him have give him permission to go and ride the bike now, and you make him smile? How about that? And all of a sudden, it's not, you pace, and you let them down to calm them down.
Okay.
Is that sympathy? Would that be like if someone is negative and if you're pacing them? Do I have to cancel clear that?
I don't know if it's the same thing. I think maybe could be, but also what I mean is, like, if someone's like, everyone hates me, cancel clear, all these things always happen to me, blah blah blah, instead of being like, yeah, I know, blah blah blah, just be like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Instead
Yeah.
saying,
Okay.
or how about everything happens to me for a reason? I mean, I was just even at the conference this last week, and this lady like didn't get her books that she shipped, and whatever. And she just went on and on about like all the things that are terrible. And I was just like, I said, or maybe it was on purpose because she had sold hardly anything and she would have had to ship all those books back. And so I was like, maybe it wasn't an accident. Maybe it wasn't a mistake. Maybe it was on purpose because now you don't have to pay $800 to ship them all home, or maybe, who knows? But just some slight, like not correction, but upgrades. I don't like to say the word correct because people can feel like judged, but just say, hey, I have an upgrade for you. You want to hear it, and if they're like, no.
That's a really great way to put that, Doc.
So why don't you go ahead and do your last one in? Because
well, actually, you kind of did it because I was gonna say just we talked about like protecting your energy and everything, and that's essentially what I wanted to ask too. But you said it a lot more sophisticated than I would have asked. So
sorry, did you have another one that you wanted to?
No, that's
it. Okay,
I was like, thanks. I'm just joking. But yeah, so no, that's all that I had.
So I want to show you my website because I was excited for you to see it and you didn't get to see it. So I'm going to show you really quick before we go. It just came up. When we do it like a few days.
Friday.
Friday.
Oh.
I just wanted to show you really quick.
Congratulations!
Thank you. I'm so excited about it. So, did you get that up there?
Yeah, I put it all the way up so you could see it from top to bottom.
Oh, okay.
Here we are.
Okay. So this is it, and you can scroll a bit, but I just wanted to show Dr. Sharnael because I didn't get a chance to.
Yes, I love it.
Thank you. I'm really excited about it, and
She
I've
put
had
a lot of work into it, Doc.
She was working on it for a very long
I love
time.
the graphics. So pretty.
Yeah, I had some help from this B12 website group that are really, really awesome. And we did most of it ourselves, but then they kind of came in and tweaked for me and they were amazing. So it kind of made it all. But anyway, I just wanted to show you before we left because I was so excited. And I've had a couple of sessions with people already and they went really, really well. And I'm really excited to be doing this now because it's fun and it's super interesting to kind of just see who we are and almost like a larger picture of like what is going on here and just how powerful we are because everybody's so different and the stories and the things that I'm seeing are so different. It's incredible. It's really, really fun. So anyway, I just want to show you before we get off. But
I love it. Beautiful job. Really good graphics, really cute colors, like everything just flows. Very cool.
Thank you.
And you know what's really amazing is that you don't really know. She has quite a few things coming through where it could be either a download, a visual, or a past life. Or I mean, she's really talented. She's really talented.
Babe. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun, and I'm excited about it. But we're so glad that we got to spend time with you today. I'm so happy it worked out. Yay!
Yep.
Thank you for
apologize for my mishap on writing it down wrong, but yes, got it. Very cool.
Yeah, I will. March 3rd, we'll be seeing you because I'm definitely doing that.
Yeah, I'll send you
schedule coming in, but
you guys are free, but I'll send you the link if you want to add it to this post and people can join us or whatever.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yay! Awesome.
So it was really good to see you, Doc. And that dog was beautiful.
Willow.
Yeah, Willow. I cannot.
Want to see my little ascended one that got into my suitcase?
Yeah.
Come here, Sal. She's my little wolf. This is Sophie. She got she has the agouti gene, which is a little wolf gene. So she's a little baby wolf.
That's a baby one that was like darker before?
Yes, she's gotten really
my gosh.
all her hair has come out super light. I mean, her back is still a little bit dark on some places, but
she was so tiny and darker. Yeah. Oh, she's too cute.
Yeah, she's a fun one. But
Well, if you could talk and tell us what she's been experiencing.
I wonder
Yeah.
what she saw yesterday. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Took her to the vet and they made her like throw up, and she threw up like the wrappers and everything. And I was like, oh my God, what in the world? I was like, what am I going to tell the vet? I called the shelter that I work at, and I'm like, dude, this is what happened. Do I tell the vet what she did, or what do I say? And she was like, just come clean. Just tell her what she ate. I'm like, dude, what am I doing?
That's
I
so
knew I
funny,
should have
Josh.
put that suitcase like really tight, but I don't know how she got in there, but whatever. I just woke up to wrappers everywhere, and I was like, oh my God.
Funny. Well, it
Yeah.
was good to see you.
Yes, love you guys. Have a good whatever every weekend or almost weekend life.
Valentine's.
Yes.
Yeah, have a good Valentine's. Say hello to Brian, and wishing you all the best. And hopefully, it's not this long before we get to talk with
Yes.
you again.
Yeah, I might be coming out to Vegas and possibly in April, and if we do, maybe we can somehow meet up. I know it's long.
Yeah. We'll go do dinner or something.
Yes, I know it's kind of far, but if I give you a heads up, maybe we can make it happen. But
Definitely. You tell us and we will drive.
Yeah,
be
we'll
there.
get there.
all right, love you guys. Bless you.
Love you.
Bless you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.